Prisons in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal are battling overcrowding after the arrests of looters recently. Over 3,000 alleged looters were arrested following the mass chaos and looting in parts of South Africa. Well, let's speak now to Correctional Services spokesperson Singabakho Nxumalo about how they're dealing with all of this. Singabakho, good afternoon and thanks for your time. And yes, with over 3,000 reported arrests and more expected from what we hear from authorities, this really must be putting a strain on your facilities. How are you coping?
A very good afternoon. It is indeed the big numbers coming to our facilities, and what aggravates the situation is that they come in big numbers at once. So therefore it doesn't give us sufficient time then to exercise some maneuvers in terms of how best are we able to move some of the inmates from overpopulated facilities to those with less overcrowding. So as a department, we are doing everything possible in ensuring that no inmate will find himself or herself in a vulnerable position, but the numbers are quite big, especially in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal.
So, Singabakho, where are the majority of them actually being held? I would imagine with most of this having happened in KZN, it's going to be there. Are they in actual prisons? Are they in holding cells? Where exactly are they being kept?
Interesting enough, it is the Gauteng with a total of 1,333 remandees. And then KwaZulu-Natal with just 399, that is shy of 400. But Johannesburg and Vereeniging, that's where it combined we have 916. That's a big number of people coming to a facility within the space of a week. And Durban Westville you have 264. Pietermaritzburg you have 77. It does put a strain because it's not just about accommodation for these remand detainees. It is also of the nutrition that we then must make available. The ration that we'll have, we'll calculate them, we'll know we have this inmate population. This is how we'll survive, let's say maybe for the month or so. If then there is a sharp increase, therefore says we need to adjust somewhere and make it a point that everyone does find a bed. Everyone is catered for, not just in terms of food, but even healthcare and other needs. So as a department, we need to respond to all these needs within a short period of time, but thus far I can say, the situation has come, we are coping, but it does say to us that we need to find other means to move inmates, especially in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal.
Well, let's throw in the whole COVID pandemic complication there, Singabakho, and the acting health minister telling us just days ago that many of those who have actually been brought to you or those who have been arrested have tested positive for COVID-19. So how are you coping with that, and also with the testing and vaccination of inmates as well?
The measures that we have in place are that every newly admitted person must be isolated. It therefore says, as they come in big numbers, we need to put them into isolation. It then strains us in a sense that we have to move other inmates from other sections, convert those sections into isolation sites, and so that we can accommodate the newly admitted remandees. That's where we're also feeling pressure, because we cannot gamble. No matter how we may feel the pressure, it's a risk that we can't afford to take, where we'll just admit people and take them straight into the general inmate population. We have to isolate them. Hence then, when we pick up positive cases, we are then able to lock down that particular section. Those with symptoms, we're able to then test them. Those who do not present any symptoms, you still keep them in isolation up until such time that they are cleared, maybe after a period of about 14 days. Majority of them have not reached that particular stage. So that is where I think as a department continuously we're being stretched, because we need to create more isolation sites, because it's a risk that we can't afford to make. We've done quite a lot as a department to prevent our facilities becoming super spreaders. So even at this time, we can't afford to have such. No matter how pressurized we may be as a system, we need to maintain the precautionary measures that we have to say every newly admitted person must be isolated. Otherwise, we will risk having our centers declared, super spreaders. That's something that we can't afford to have.
Well, Singabakho, can you confirm, though, that quite a few of those who've been arrested in connection with the looting and rioting have actually tested positive?
We have picked up positive cases amongst remand detainees, but also even for our officials as well, who, they reside in communities where the virus has been causing serious havoc. So it's also, again, a balancing act to say how best are we able to, the force that we have, we deploy it appropriately so that we don't expose all of them at once. So once we have remandees testing positive, then we're able then to move them aside, but also then the officials there to deploy in those sites. Then it's a balancing act, a responsible one, but then as a department, we have our eyes open, working together even with the Department of Health and other stakeholders to ensure that we still have our centers being safe, so that at least those who are negative, they remain in that space. But then if new people are testing positive, it does become a point of concern for us as correctional services.
All right, a very tight spot you're in there, Singabakho Nxumalo from Correctional Services. Thanks very much.